Hi, welcome to Gotta Ping, a careers podcast you should listen to if you want to grow your career online and offline. Hi, my name is Mei Ping, and I'm a professional career coach and international speaker with more than a decade of experience at some of the biggest companies in the world. To learn more about what I do, visit meiping.com. That's meiping.com. All right, let's jump right into today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my Gotta Ping podcast, a podcast that you should listen to if you are serious about growing your corporate career. So, welcome back to today's episode. And today's episode actually is going to be a very interesting one because I'm actually kickstarting a 30-day client success story series. So over the next 30 days, which is 4 weeks, I'll be sharing with you guys 20 stories of clients who have worked with me directly, either to improve their work performance or to increase their success in nailing more interviews as well as more job offers. So this is actually a highly requested series by a lot of my clients as well as community to better understand how they could actually improve from where they are right now. So the main purpose of this series is really to inspire as well as empower you to really understand that no matter where you are in your career at the moment, you can get better and the situation can always get better as well. So in today's episode, I'm kicking off with one of my clients who I personally feel has completely transformed, and she is actually the first client I've ever worked with since I transitioned to become a career coach. So just a little bit of my client's background for you guys to better understand where she came from and where she is now. So my client is initially, she faced a lot of struggles when she joined this new company in a new country. She pretty much relocated for a better job opportunity from Malaysia to Singapore. And over the 1.5 years that she spent in that new company, she really struggled to adapt. And eventually what happened was she was fired from her job. And when she came to me, it was obviously a very frustrating situation. And what she told me is that, like, what can I do to make sure that I don't get fired again? Because it is definitely not a good feeling and it really destroyed her self-esteem and self-confidence. So when she came to me, she was very lost. And I think that she didn't really believe in herself, which I understand because it's not a good situation to get fired. And that is not an experience that I wish for anyone. So when I started working with her, I made it very clear to her that, hey, this is going to be maybe a slightly longer term process because we want to make sure that foundationally we really fix whatever skills gap that you will have, and then we can move forward. So the approach that I took with her was not to put like a band-aid approach because I knew it wouldn't work, but really look into the real foundations of what actually caused problems in that previous job where she got fired and make sure that we fix those gaps as needed so that she doesn't face any more problems in the future. So in her situation, we actually nailed down a couple of things that she was actually really weak at. Number one, she is a highly introverted person. So what that meant was that she was very shy and generally very quiet. So from in the corporate world, speaking up is something that is very important. So she actually lacked that ability because it's just not in her nature. But second thing is she was also really afraid because she did try in the past, but coupled with her poor communication skills, every time she decided to speak up, it didn't go really well because she couldn't really articulate and express herself because of her poor communication skill. So what that eventually created was a lot of misunderstandings and also lack of trust with her boss at that time, who was a very, very senior guy. So there's there were a lot of issues in terms of working together, and it really boiled down to, I guess, three main gaps in her case. Number one, as I said, she was highly introverted. That meant that she didn't dare to speak up. Number two, she had very poor communication skills. So even when she did speak up, it was just not clear in general, in the way that she expressed herself, either verbally and even in communication via written communication via email also. So these two were pretty significant problems. And thirdly, she also had another problem in which she was a very disorganized person. So the words that she always tells me is that I am floating in the clouds. So if you're in a corporate job and you are also like my client who is floating in the clouds, it's not a good situation, because no bosses like to deal with somebody who is floating in the clouds. And if you have that kind of personality, it is also very challenging for you to commit and deliver to any and commit and deliver work that is promised, or rather commit to certain deadlines, which can be a bit of an issue. So the other final thing that she also expressed to me, and I also managed to identify during our sessions when we first started working together, is that she had a very messy mindset, and her ability to have critical thinking and problem solving was a little bit weak. So at that time, she was an assistant manager, and definitely problem solving, clear thinking skills, it's a requirement at that level. So that's why overall she really struggled. And when I first started working with her, I told her that, okay, we're just going to go through this process, which I think is really important. Number one, I need to help you understand your personality, because right now you have very low confidence, and you start to think, and she started thinking that there was something wrong with her. But what I told her is that I think you need a better understanding of your personality, because you yourself don't know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So because you don't know what your strengths and weaknesses are, it's going to be very difficult to try to leverage those strengths that you don't know exist, or try to fix those weaknesses that you are not aware they are there, that's creating problems in the first place. So fundamentally, I think understanding personality was one of the first things that we worked on. The second thing, I also had to work with her to identify the extent and pretty much how bad was the skills gap that she faced. So I actually have a top 10 skills for career success that I use personally when I work with my clients. And you can also actually find it on my website, mingping.com, under work performance. So I had to assess her skills gap against the 12 top the top 12 skills. And I think, like I said, right at the earlier part, there were a couple of pretty obvious ones. So we spent quite a lot of time working on her communication skills as well, like, understanding the intention, how to listen better, how to express herself very clearly, what words to use, what words to avoid, how to identify emotions in other people, how to read body language. Like, all those things are just so critical part of communication. And those were some of the root causes why she struggled at her job in the first place, because she really couldn't identify any of these things, right? And because she couldn't identify any of these things, it became almost impossible for her to understand what her boss wanted, right? Really manage expectations and deliver on what was expected. So those were really the two main things that we focused on. And of course, gradually as she improved, then I gave her some suggestions on how she could check in or catch up with her bosses. What's the structure that she should go through? Like, basically the step-by-step guide on how to survive in the corporate world, for lack of a better word. So I do really want to have say kudos to this one client, because she really, really put in the effort. And when we first started working, we had sessions every 2 weeks, because her problems was just so significant that if she had gone on her own, she consistently felt lost. And I think it took a little bit of time for her to gain that confidence and say, hey, I know what I'm doing, and I'm actually regaining and trusting in my own skills and abilities. And that took a little bit of time, but eventually she did get there. So after working together for about 12 months, and this is basically the 12th month that she's in this new company already. I'm so happy for her when she told me that she got a really good performance rating from her new boss in this new company, and her boss even gave her a lot of praises on how prompt she was, how organized she was, how clear she was in her managing, in her communication, which really is a complete turnaround from where she started in the first place, right? So really want to say kudos to this client of mine who really showed a lot of dedication, and after every single session she always took on board these suggestions and what we have agreed and always implemented it, so that when she came back in the next 2 weeks, we had some examples of really real life situations that she faced at the workplace to then give feedback and continue to improve from there. So just a lot of dedication on her part, and I think at the end of the day she really regained a lot of her confidence. And even nowadays, her friends are also telling her that she is a lot more clear in her communication. She doesn't just agree to anything, which was one of her habits in the past, and she now feels comfortable to share some of her opinions as well. So from a work-wise, she did get a good performance rating last year in her new company. She also got an increment, which is really positive news. And this year, her boss also told her that she will be positioned for a promotion, which to her, it was something that was impossible in the past, but right now is really turning into a reality. So that's really, personally to me, a really, really big client success story, because if you have been in a situation where you were fired, and you will definitely be able to understand that kind of emotions of feeling low self-esteem, low self-confidence, generally just low self-belief, and not be able to pull yourself out of that hole. But I was really glad that she decided to give herself another chance and really make the effort to try to fix the skills gap that she had, and really understanding her personality. And even nowadays during our sessions, she is able to analyze to me why she thinks certain things happen, then really able to bounce with me and to better understand what am I potentially seeing that she is not seeing, so that she can continuously grow. So I think definitely it's a really important step forward, and particularly this year, our goal together for the end of this year is to make sure that she get that promotion that her boss has suggested to her. So that is definitely a big goal that we are working towards. So I definitely look forward to helping her grow in her career as she deserves, because after putting in that amount of effort and regaining her self-belief, I think she is really ready to move forward in the next phase of her career. So that's it for today's client success story sharing. I hope that this story has inspired you, that no matter how low how rock bottom low that you have hit in your career, there is always a way to bounce back. And it starts with you, and it starts with you reaching out for the right help if needed, and really being brave and wanting to improve yourself, right? Because that's really like the most important thing. So again, with that, I hope this story inspires you. I hope this story also empowers you to take action to move forward, because at the end of the day, it's really up to you to decide how you want to grow your career and what you want to do and what you want to achieve. So take action if you need to, and really think about how you can continue to grow your career in the corporate world and take charge of your own career journey. So again, thank you for listening to the first episode in my 30-day series of sharing client success stories. And I hope that you will also go out there feeling empowered, and hopefully your own career journey and your own career story can inspire somebody else in the future. So with that, I'll see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, stay inspired and stay empowered. Cheers. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode. For more awesome content like this, remember to like and subscribe. Also, head on over to my website, meiping.com, that's meiping.com, and subscribe to my weekly newsletter for more career growth and personal development tips. You can find the links in the description box below. Once again, you're listening to Gotta Ping, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!